1 Corinthians 10:23. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but not all things edify. It has been said that all things are lawful, therefore I can do whatever I want with freedom in Christ. But the law still contains some good advice. Again, context is key. Keep going from verse 23 to verse 33. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but not all things edify. Let no one seek his own, but each one the other's well-being. Eat whatever is sold in the meat market, asking no questions for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's and all its fullness. If any of those who do not believe invites you to dinner, and you desire to go, eat whatever is set before you, asking no question for conscience sake. But if anyone says to you, this was offered to idols, do not eat it for the sake of the one who told you, and for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's and all its fullness. Conscience, I say, not your own, but that of the other. For why is my liberty judged by another man's conscience? But if I partake with thanks, why am I evil spoken of for the food over which I give thanks? Therefore, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. Give no offense either to the Jews or to the Greeks or to the church of God, just as I also please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. Paul is talking about food sacrificed to idols. He explains that these foods are lawful for him to eat, as long as he does not know that they were sacrificed to an idol and therefore causing another person to stumble. See entry on Romans 14. But they may not be beneficial if they can potentially harm the faith of a weaker believer. The point is that when we see the world clearly through the eyes of God, then we realize that, as Paul said a couple chapters earlier, an idol is nothing. And what God made as good is still good. In this context, the meat of a clean animal that God made for us to consume is still clean, even though the godless world has dedicated that clean meat to another god. However, one who does not have that knowledge and still has a consciousness of the idol, regarding it as something to be feared, can be confounded by seeing a mature believer partaking in the meat of a pagan sacrifice, thinking that the mature believer is now worshiping numerous gods. Therefore, all things are lawful to Paul, but not all things are helpful. Paul recognizes this meat sacrificed to an idol as just another piece of meat, disregarding the idol, and acknowledges that not everyone will see it the way he does. Paul puts much more weight on making sure that the weaker brother is not misled than he puts on freely enjoying a steak. If Paul were teaching that all things are lawful, then Paul has nothing left to teach. We can do whatever is right in our own eyes.